Hi students, welcome to math class. Make sure you have your math book pages 226 and 227. So we're going to be going over equivalent expressions today. Let's go ahead and read the top part of page 226 before we get started on our odd number problems. So this is just a review of the properties we've been studying for the past few weeks or months. Let's review them. So the associative property, the commutative property, and our distributive property. So the associative property just tells us that you can group things differently. So think about the parentheses here. For here, you are multiplying 9 times n first. But if you use the associative property tells us that even if you change the order here, so if you do 6 times 9 instead, 6 times 9 first, then we get the same answer of 54n. The commutative property is the one that tells us that order does not matter. So like 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? The distributive property, a lot of us had a little more trouble understanding. So we're actually going to be practicing this today. We're going to be using the distributive property of multiplication over addition to regroup things to create an equivalent or equal expression. For example, let's look over here. 3 times parentheses 3 plus 5b. The distribution here is that we do 3 times 3, which is 9, then 3 times 5b, which gives us 15b, because 3 times 5 is 15. Again, it's a lot easier to understand once we actually do the work, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first section says, apply the distributive property to write an equivalent expression. Okay. So number 1, we're going to do 9 times 2 and 9 times x. So that will bring us to 9 times 2 plus, because we're doing the distributive property over addition, plus what? 9 times x. Very good. Now, 9 times 2 is 18, and 9x, since we don't know the value of x, we can just write 9x. So our solution, the equivalent expression of 9 times 2 plus x is 18 plus 9x. That means this will yield the same answer. All right, let's try number 3. Same step. So 7 times 3, we're going to distribute that, and then we're also going to distribute 7 times 4y. So we're just writing what we're talking about. 7 times 3 plus 7 times 4y. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4y is, well, let's multiply the like term. 7 times 4 is 28, and because we don't know y yet, just gotta stick it next to here. And this is the equivalent or equal expression of 7 times 3 plus 4y. Moving on to number 5, same steps. 16 times 5 plus 16 times 3a. Let's write that out. And remember, the parentheses is just telling us to multiply. Okay? So 16 times 5 is 80. Plus 16 times 3a. Again, multiplying the like terms. 16 times 3 gives us 48. We put our variable there, giving us 80 plus 48a as the equivalent expression of this. Number 7, we have a fraction this time, so same distribution. 4 times y plus 4 times 1/8. So 4 times y is simply 4y, but we do have to do 4 times 1/8. Who remembers how to multiply fraction? What's the first step? Yup. Turn the whole number into an improper fraction. And then remember, when you're multiplying, you don't have to do reciprocals or anything like that. That's just for division. So that gives us 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 8 is 8. Now we have to simplify this. What's the greatest common factor of 4 and 8? 2. So divide both top and bottom, numerator and denominator by 2, which gives us half. So here we have 4y plus half. That is the equivalent expression of 4 times y plus 1/8. Alright, so let's move on to our next section. Choose the best expression with an equivalent value. So we're looking at this. 6x plus 18 equals A, B, or C. Well, let's go ahead and solve. Let's go ahead and simplify these to see which one matches this one. So 3 times 2x is 6x plus 3 times 6 is 18. So we got lucky, first try. So this is our answer, but let's go ahead and simplify these as well just for additional practice. So 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 9 is 27. So we know it's not this. This is not the same as that. And then 2 times 3x is 6x because 3 times 2 is 6. 2 plus 6 is 12. So again, we know this is not the answer. So this is our answer. Number 11, 12 times y plus 3. So let's simplify this first. 12 times y is 12y. It's like a trick question, right? And then 3 just stays the same. So luckily we can just see that it's right here. Ta-da! Alright, next section. Choose the inverse operation that would be used to solve the equation. This is a review. So remember, the inverse operations are here. Number 13 says x divided by 7 equals 7, or x over 7 equals 7. So what is the inverse operation? The operation that will undo the division. Yes, that's correct. Multiplication. So just circle multiplication. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Next section. Determine, so tell whether the given value or the answer is the solution to the equation, right? Yes or no. Okay, so we're going to be substituting. So 15, r minus 42 equals 59 if r equals 17. So let's go ahead and substitute the 17 with r. So we're going to do 17 minus 42. Well, right away we know that this is going to be a negative number, right? So it's not going to equal 59 because 59 is a positive number. So we just got it right. No. No way, Jose. 17. 16.08 n equals 1608 if n equals 100. So we're multiplying here. We're doing 16.08 times 100. Who remember it's a shortcut of multiplying decimals by power of tens? Yup. You're moving the decimal to the right or left? The right. 2 times because this is 100, 2 zeros. So that brings us to, well, the decimal will go all the way to the end of the number. So that becomes 1608. So is this true? Yes, sirree, it is. Okay, number 19. X equals 6 if x, oops, sorry. I forgot to write down the problem. So 1/8 x equals 6 if x equals 50. So we're going to be doing 1/8 times 50. Now, we probably don't even have to do the multiplication, right? Because right away you can ask yourself, is 1/8 of 50 6? Well, let's go ahead and see actually. So again, turning that whole number into an improper fraction, let's go ahead and cancel out some numbers. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 1 times 25 is 25 over 4. And we're gonna, yeah, so it is not 6. Can go ahead and write no. Alright, next section. Solve, check the solution. So this is page 227. Just review of all the equations we've been practicing so far. Let's go ahead and get this started. So remember, these are the inverse operations. A plus 5 equals 33. Inverse operation of plus 5 is minus 5. Do the same thing on both sides. A equals 28. Let's go ahead and check. 28 plus 5 is it 33? Yep. Great. Number 23. A divided by 12 equals 3. Inverse operation of divide is multiply. Good. So multiply by, so remember the parentheses is just a way of saying multiplication. So multiply both sides by 12. Now the 12 will cancel out here. So A equals 3 times 12 is 36. Good. And then to check our answer, well, 36 divided by 12 is 3. So yes, that's correct. 25. N minus 16 equals 140. Inverse operation of minus 16 is? Good. Plus 16. And what do we do on the other side? Yep. That's right. Genius. Alright, so that cancels out. N equals? Good. 156. And then we can go ahead and check that. Go ahead and check 156 minus 16. Tell me what the answer is. 140? Great. 27. Y minus 43 equals 129. Inverse operation of minus 43 is? Yep. And what do we do on the other side? Up. Same thing. That cancels out. And what is 129 plus 43? Good. Now to check, can you check for me? What is 172 minus 43? Is it 129? Yeah? Great. 29. 2x equals 14.8. So what is the inverse operation of multiply? Divide. X equals 14.8 divided by 2. Goes into 14 how many times? 7. Good. 7 times 2 is? Yep. Then 0. Bring down the 8. 2 goes into 8 how many times? 4. Good. And then we're left with no remainders. Where do we put the decimal? Right here. X equals 7.4. And please check for me, what is 7.4 times 2? 14.8? Fabulous. 31. 1.5 W equals 30. Same thing. Inverse operation of multiply is divide. This time we have a decimal point in the divisor. So what do we do here? We have to make the divisor into a whole number, so we're going to move the decimal point to the end, which takes one step. Then we do the same thing to our dividend, so this becomes 300. So this becomes 300 divided by 15. Into 30 how many times? 2 times. Down to 0. Alright, so our answer is 20. W equals 20. And please do 20 times 1.5 for me. It should be 30. Alright, number 33. X over 9, or x divided by 9, equals 4. Inverse operation of divide is multiply, so multiply both sides by, yep, cancels that out. X equals, what's 4 times 9? Very good. Let's check. 36 divided by 9 is 4. Cool. 35. X divided by 12 equals 62. Inverse operation of divided by 12 is multiply by 12. The 12 cancels out on the left. So x equals 62 times 12, which is? It's 744. Go ahead and check. What is 744 divided by 12? Should be 62. Cool. I'm going to stop here and move on to part 2 of the video. So I will see you in a few seconds. Great job.